All right, Shalom Israel, Shalom, Shalom, brother Naquam.
Shalom, brother Amos.
Coming back at you with these precepts and another Monday Night Fire. Giving, of course, all honor and glory to Yahweh, Bahashima Mashiach, Womalaka Bashai. Double honors to the elect elders of the house of David that's been in this truth for decades and decades, patiently waiting and laboring for the second coming of our Lord Yahweh Shai. A hearty, mighty Shalom to all of the mighty men of the Most High God who are out there in the highways and byways, pushing this truth, magnifying the ministry, presenting your bodies as a living sacrifice, and enduring all things for the elect's sakes. And shalom to all of the men that may not be out there in the highways and byways as of yet, but they're working on it. They're getting built up in the spirit. They're praying, they're fasting, they're studying, they're being diligent, and they're abounding in the work of the Lord. Shalom, shalom. Shalom to all of the Aquath out there, the sincere sisters that are out there zealous and diligent and on fire, moving in the spirit of our righteous foremothers. Shalom to the ancient men. Shalom to the children. Shalom to the elect of Israel scattered abroad throughout the four corners of the earth. And shalom to everybody tuning in live through the spirit and power of Yahweh and his only begotten son, Yahweh Shai. You got it, King.
God, all praise to the Most High for a beautiful, beautiful Monday Night Fire. It should be well needed through the Spirit. Most High willing that everybody's enduring, being circumspect and watching these prophecies unfold before our eyes. Right? Many prophets and ancient men decided to see the times that we're living in. It'd be a shame to take it for granted. Let your mind be overthrown with suffeting and drunkenness and just dealing with things of this world that bring no benefit towards your salvation. Right? These things that you allow to distract you or pull you away is just you one step closer to the grave. Is you one step closer to being distant from Yahweh Shem Yahushai. Right? And that's why we always say in the Sabbath service, cold cuts, you should be as the Church of Berea. Right? You should be searching the scriptures to see if the words that be spoken you are true or not. You should be seeing if this prophecy is linking up with this and is it going to unravel this way or that way. You should be occupying your mind, right? And not thinking about how many numbers you can get when you go to the bar, right? How many shots until you stumbling down the steps. Right now is the time to make sure that your mind is fixated and your eye is singular, that you don't get caught up in this whirlwind that's coming.
Kind of right. And, we're addressing the elephant in the room, right? We're addressing the elephant in the room. And the elephant in the room, essentially through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shema Shai, is that particular demon and or vice, evil spirit, and sin that is ready to sift you out. This spirit is ready to just root you out this truth, pluck you out the land of the living, put you to death, ultimately, and send you back to the spirit world. And a lot of brothers are, what's the word I'm looking for? You're playing around, man. You're playing around. I'm gonna just put it like that. You're playing around, and you're not taking this thing serious. But deep down, you know that there are things that you are struggling with, and you put it on the back burner. A lot of brothers are putting demons that they deal with on the back burner. A lot of brothers they're not taking this time and these opportunities the Most High has given us to be able to attack these evil spirits head on. And it's the elephant in the room, right? You know that these things are constantly beating you down, constantly wrestling against you, and sometimes, whooping you up, for lack of better term. So we have to address the elephant in the room and what spirit is obviously there, right? I want to get this precept real quick. I want to go to Ecclesiasticus chapter 37. I was thinking about this when you was speaking, right? Let's go to Sirach chapter 37. And every brother has a particular, elephant in the room. And for brothers that don't know what that saying means, I'm gonna just read a quick definition, right? It's just a famous saying, right? Elephant in the room, right? It means the elephant in the room is an idiom for an obvious major problem or controversial issue that everyone is aware of but avoids discussing due to discomfort, fear, or embarrassment. I'm going to read that again. The elephant in the room is an idiom for an obvious major problem, right? It could be drinking, it could be pornography, right? It can be lust, it can be rebellion, it can be procrastination, it could be time management, it could be slothfulness. It's an obvious major problem hindering you from elevating in its truth. All right. Or controversial issue that everyone is aware of but avoids discussing due to discomfort, fear, or embarrassment. It highlights a collective, often subconscious decision to ignore a glaring, uncomfortable truth. You know, like if somebody, well, I'm not going to get too many, actual examples. We're going to talk about this in the precepts. Let me get a ride back here. Right.
Shalom, King.
Shalom, King.
Brother. Shalom, King.
Shalom. Let's go to Ecclesiasticus chapter 37, and I'm going to read verse number 27. Right? This is right, chapter 37 and 27. My son, prove thy soul and thy life, and see what is evil for it, and give not that unto it. For all things are not profitable for all men, neither hath every soul pleasure in everything. And part of identifying that is you have to prove your soul and your life. You have to go through particular events in your life. And, through trial and error, how I like to say through the spirit, you begin to understand what things work well for you, what things don't work well for you. That's everything in life, right? Rather you riding a bike, you're driving, you're in a relationship, right? Your diet, you see what things are good for you, what things are bad for you. If you're not proving your soul and your life and understanding that, then you're going to be naive to the evil that's in your life. And one thing you can't be in this truth is naive, right? You can't be naive and you can't be simple concerning evil. You have to address, and some brothers don't even understand the elephant in the room, the demon that they don't even know that there's an actual spirit that's hindering them from growing in this knowledge, right? You have to see what's evil for yourself and give not yourself unto it. So if drinking is something that overthrows me because I'm always stumbling, like the brother said, or I forget where I place all my belongings, or I'm always getting locked out of my house because I'm drunk, or somebody breaking my car, or I got alcohol poisoning, I'm putting my hands on people, I become violent. I have to become or get to the point where I understand that, hey, I shouldn't be drinking. That's evil for me. Let me address the problem in my life. A lot of brothers have problems in their lives based off of particular demons that they refuse to conquer. Alcoholism is one, drinking. Like I said, people have a pornography demon that ruins marriages, relationships, all types of spirits. You're wondering why you're not as successful or as prosperous in this knowledge or in this truth or anything in life, because you're refusing to acknowledge the things that are holding you back. And you're nonchalant. Jake is too nonchalant about things. Jake, you're too cool for school to your own destruction. You have to see what things are not profitable for you, right? The Lord said, for all things are not profitable for all men, neither hath every soul pleasure in everything. These ain't the days to be nonchalant about demons. Let me get one more quick precept. Right? These are not the days to be, too cool for school, huh? Because these spirits, they're unmerciful. Demons are unmerciful, right? Demons are unmerciful, and they will sift you out, man. Right? They will sift you out. This is Ecclesiasticus chapter 4 and 20. Observe the opportunity and beware of evil, and be not ashamed when it concerneth thy soul. So every single one of us in these last days, we have to address, like we keep saying, these spirits. What spirit is it? You can't say, well, I don't have no spirit. I don't have no demon. Ain't no spirit after me. Everything's good in my life. I'm cool. And you got to watch out for brothers. Everything's always perfect. Now, brother may not want to, utter all his bond, but if a brother, everything's always perfect and there's no opposition, then that brother has to question if he's really in his truth. Because everything's not going to be perfect. There's evil constantly coming after you. And you have to be observant, right? Observe the opportunity and beware of evil. And like I used the example, drinking. Some people don't know that drinking is the reason why you and your children are at odds. Because every time you want to do stuff, you drunk, man. Right? You throwing stuff and you're yelling at them, and you won't even acknowledge that it's drinking. You blame it on everybody else. You don't want to acknowledge that drinking or alcoholism, whatever spirit it is, you still smoking weed or right or whatever. That's the reason why your marriage is in shambles. You want to blame your wife, or you want to blame, what happened to you when you was 10 years old, instead of holding yourself accountable. You have to have accountability and be aware of the evil in your life and what's stopping you from growing in this knowledge. The Lord said that be not ashamed when it concerneth thy soul. So you can't be nonchalant about it. You can't be ashamed and not want to speak about it. It concerns your soul. For there is a shame that bringeth sin, and there is a shame which is glory and grace. And a shame that brings sin is a brother that's too bashful. He's too shy. He's too nonchalant about sin. He'll walk in the room and everybody's smoking crack, and he's too scared or shy to say anything or to leave. Are you walking to your damn uncle house, man? There's a bunch of dope fiends in there. He say, "Sit down right here, nephew." Okay. Okay. I think I should be going now. No, we don't want to hear that. We don't want to hold this. And he damn give you a damn spoon, man. And a lighter. Why am I holding this? What's going to happen now? Then 3 dudes hold you down and band up your damn arm, tap your vein. They tell you to light the spoon. I don't think I should be lighting it. It's not working. You're too shy, brother. Next thing you know, you out of there. So you have to be aware and not be ashamed when you're about to be, when evil's about to befall you. So that's a shame that brings sin, and there's a shame which is glory and grace. And the shame that's glory and grace is the man that's ashamed to sin. He gets great grace and glory from the Most High because he's going to be aware of evil, and he's going to hide himself from it. So all of these spirits are coming after us, and you have to put the scope and a red dot on that demon, zoom in, hold your breath, and take a headshot, man, because these spirits are coming after us, and you have to address it and stop being nonchalant about it. The brothers got it.
Gone. And that's a good point. Everybody's battling something, right? Like the brother said, whether it's alcoholism, pornography, lust, it's a plethora of demons. Can we get 1 John 1 and 8, Bobby Sean? We all have something that we have to work out. We all have that condition of the battle that we have to fight, right? There's no man that's walking this earth who's not sinning, right? This is 1 John chapter 1 and verse 8. If we say that we have no sin, we deceive ourselves and the truth is not in us. Like the brother said, I'm always good. I'm not dealing with nothing. You're a liar, right? You're a hypocrite. Right, you're deceiving yourself. Right, you're slicing and dicing your own spirit. We all have things that we're battling that's hindering us. And I was talking about this Saturday when we was at camp. The hardest thing to master at life is discipline. Right, discipline is damn near impossible to obtain, but it's a process of getting to the point of being where you want to be. Right, you're gonna fall short, you're gonna stumble, you're gonna slip, right? But it's all about the process of getting back to where you're trying to be, right? You set a goal. Let's get that in Sirach 51 in verse number 30, Baba Yashar. You set a goal to where you want to be, right? If you got a heavy smoking demon that you can't shake, right? You set a goal, right? Through the spirit, I'm a drive this way. I'm not gonna pass where Ray and Terrell and whoever you may be buying weed from is at. You're gonna go the opposite way, and you're gonna count those days that you're not smoking, and you're gonna build yourself up. Right? It says Sirach 51 and 30. Work your work be times, and in his time, he will give you your reward. So the Most High is going to reward you when you're doing the work that you're supposed to be doing to magnify his name, to offend less and less, to make sure your hands are clean and your garments white. The Most High is going to give you that reward. He'll give you more understanding, right? He'll increase your family, right? He'll increase the brotherhood, right? The Most High is the one who gives that reward, right? One more precept, and then you got a king. Ephesians 5 and verse number 15. Right, so it's not for man to give you a reward. Yeah, we can give you something carnal, a plaque, a high five, up high or down low, but it's the Most High who truly gives that reward. Right, verse Ephesians 5 and 15. See then that you walk circumspectly. Right, what does circumspectly mean? Always observing, always looking, always comprehending the evil that can befall you. Not as fools, but as wise, redeeming the time because the days are evil. Right, the days are evil that we're living in. Right, I just seen somebody got stabbed in DC over a parking spot, and the ambulance couldn't even get to him because the street wasn't plowed. So what do you think happened to that man? He probably bled out. Right, the days are evil. That's why we have to be circumspect. And how does evil befall us? By iniquity, by separating ourselves from our God. Right, Satan is going to and fro. Right, lions don't go after the strongest and most well fit gazelles. They go after the weak ones. So Satan is going to come at you when you at your weakest point. Right, you at home. It's 12:30 at night. Nobody's alone. Right, and you start rubbing your leg, and you start moving your hand over. Next thing you know, you ashamed. Right, and all men know that shame. Like I'm ashamed of myself. Right, verse number 17. Wherefore be ye not unwise. So wherefore be ye not unwise, but understanding what the will of the Lord is. Right, the will of the Lord is that no man is supposed to sin. We're supposed to be perfect, as our Father in heaven is perfect. That's the will of the Lord. And if we're calling ourselves Israelites, we should be doing the will of our Father. Right, that's John 8. Right, the Lord said, "Your father's the devil. You'll do his will." Right, on the contrary, right, we're the children of light. We're the children of Yahweh Shem Yahushua. We should be doing his will and magnifying his name and doing his good works. Right, but you got it, King.
Con, that's right. That's a good point. All praise to the Most High. Let's go to the mighty book of Sirach, chapter 3, in verse number 26. Right, Sirach, chapter 3, in verse number 26. And these are excellent points brothers are bringing out through the Spirit, man. Most High willing, man. Brothers and sisters are really hearkening through the Spirit. It says a stubborn heart shall fare evil at the last. Somebody telling you something over and over and over, and you're not getting it, man. You got 14 witnesses, like it's written all over your face, right? How many times you got to fall from the same thing? You're just stubborn because you want to do what you want to do. So you're going to fare evil at the last. Meaning it may feel good at the moment and at the second, but in time, the Lord is going to confound you and overthrow you. It says, and he that loveth danger shall perish therein, man. That's not always talking about jumping off a cliff, man. You like to make risky moves. You're not moving in wisdom. Had a little bit too much to drink, driving too fast. You like to put yourself in situations that overthrow you, man. If you love danger and the spirit of excitement on the left-hand side that gives you by putting yourself in unwise situations, you're going to perish, man. You're going to be overthrown. It says an absent heart should be laden with sorrows. So somebody that's evil and has an evil mind that doesn't think upon the ordinances of the Most High, he's going to be laden with sorrows. Why? Because the Lord's going to judge him. And every door is going to slam in his face. Every situation he's going to be confounded in. He's going to be overthrown, right? He's going to be humiliated, right? Absent of heart, you can't do nothing with that brother. He's going to get confounded over and over and over until he's laden with sorrows. And the wicked man shall keep sin upon sin. Meaning what? The brother, I really think you should, think twice about what you're about to do. The Don't never listen to counsel. He's hard-headed, he's stubborn. So the Lord said that type of man is going to do one thing. He's just going to keep sin upon sin upon sin until the day where he gets judged and he perishes, man. It says, in the punishment of the proud, there is no remedy. Why is he proud? Because he don't listen, man. How many times have somebody told you something over and over and over? It could be your mother, your grandmother, it could be counsel, it could be your elder, it could be a faithful brother that loves you dearly, man. And he told you not to do something over and over and over. I can't count on two hands how many times brothers have had counsel and brothers have told brothers not to do something. And they say, you know what, in their own mind, I think it's best if I go ahead and do it. And then they get overthrown. And the Lord overthrows them because they didn't hearken unto counsel. So you being proud, there's no remedy, there's no help in that situation. For the plant of wickedness have taken root in them. And a lot of brothers, they got the plant of wickedness in them. Man, can't nobody tell you nothing, man. You stubborn. You just the king and the prince. And nobody can tell you nothing, man. And your wife can help you sometimes, man, through the spirit. She can tell you things. Brothers that are younger than you can tell you things. Brothers that have been in the truth not as long as you can tell you things. Brothers in another city, in another state, speaking another language can show you things, man. Everybody is subject to learn at one point of a time. You got to be humble enough and show humility to be able to take it, man. And stop being proud, right? Let me get the mighty book of Proverbs, chapter 14 and 30. Can I get that in the GNT? Proverbs chapter 14 and verse number 30, right? In the GNT. It says, peace of mind makes the body healthy. So again, when you're in the spirit and you're relaxed, you're comfortable, right? You've been reading, you've been praying, you went on a fast, right? You've been teaching, you're healthy, your mind is right, you got situations in order, you're not worrying, right? A lot of times spirits come on people when they be worrying a lot, man. Am I going to do this? Am I going to make this? And what if I do this? And what if I do? You all over the place, man. Like the Lord said, a double-minded man is unstable in all his ways, man. So if you're double-minded on one point, you'll be likely to be double-minded on the next point. The Lord said, peace of mind makes the body healthy. Think how good it feels when you got your rent paid. Think how good it feels when you got your light bill paid. You got enough money to take your woman out. Your children have clothes. You've read for the day. Your spirit feel good. It's healthy to you, man. When your mind's all jammed up with 1,000 thoughts, you're all over the place. You got counsel from 3 different people, man. He's saying no, she's saying yes, and he's saying I don't know, man. And you don't have no peace of mind. So your spirit all jammed up. And then you fall. It says, but jealousy is like a cancer, man. Right? So you want to be able to have a spirit and a mind, right, to be able to be relaxed through the spirit, right? I'm going to read this in the KJV. A sound heart is as life of the flesh, man. A sound heart is relaxed, man. You're sound, meaning you're stable, you put together, right? Like brothers is going to, if you're a drunkard, and a lot of brothers were drunkards, man, right? But they came out of that. A lot of brothers were whoremongers. A lot of brothers were thieves, man. They came out of that, man. But when you're sound, meaning you're solid, it's life of the flesh, man. It feels good, man. You solid, man. Your mind's in the right place. But when you're laden with iniquity, sorrow, double-mindedness, and spirits, right, it's the rotten to the bones. Well, brothers got it.
Yeah, that's right, man. And these are all spirits that can overthrow you. Right? They can overthrow you. And kind of land me back and add them to that, man. A lot of brothers, with these different demons, let me get this. They don't know how to necessarily deal with it, man. The truth is also about, preparing yourself to deal with these. To brothers' points, you want to be able to have a mind that has an approach of preparation too. Because a lot of these spirits, rather it's pornography, drinking excessively, what's another? Lust, slothfulness, doubt, depression. What's another spirit brothers deal with, or sisters? These are all these envy, like the brother went into, jealousy, right? Vanity, covetousness. These are all spirits, man. And once you identify these spirits, like Job said, make me to know my sins, right? You want the Most High, to really show you exactly what you need to work on. You need to examine that too. right? You need to examine that. And then once you identify that, you got to start preparing. How are you going to overcome this? How are you going to get the peace of mind, like the brother said? How are you going to approach these demons? Right? I want to get this in First Chronicles 29:1. What is your game plan? If you're dealing with pornography, okay, now you acknowledged it. All right. Well, now what are you going to do after that? I guess this is my great sin. This is what I deal with. Right? I don't know what to do next. Right? And like the brother said, you're getting counsel from 3 people and your mind all jammed up. This First Chronicles 29:1. Furthermore, David the king said unto all the congregation, Solomon my son, whom alone God had chosen, is yet young and tender, and the work is great, and the palace is not for man, but for the Lord. Right? Because he charged his son, he's about to charge his son to build the temple. All right, he gathered all of the people together. Now I have prepared with all my might for the house of my God, the gold for things that be made of gold, and for silver the things of silver, and the brass for things of brass, the iron for things of iron, and wood for things of wood, onyx stones, and stones to be set, glistering stones, and of diverse colors, and all manner of precious stones, and marble stones in abundance. And the part I love about this is it says, now I have prepared with all my might. And that's why the temple was able to be a major success through the spirit of Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. You know how many great things, this all started with preparation. Okay, you can say, well, no, it was King Solomon. He made the deal with Hiram of Tyre, and he had timber coming in. And no, the whole foundation of it is preparation. And how do you prepare? When you play sports, they say you practice how you play, or you play how you practice, or it's the same thing. You know, it's the same thing. It's interchangeable. The best teams out there are the ones that practice well. The teams that's not successful, they don't practice hard. When you play a sport and you practice in real game speed like it's a game, when you go out there and do the real thing, it's going to be easy to you. But if you're just going through the motions, you ain't preparing, and you're not looking at the playbook, you're not watching game film, you're not studying, you're going to lose. It doesn't matter how talented you are. You can be the most talented people. You can be the top team. But if that other team out-prepares you, then you're going to lose. Brothers play sports. I mean, I played sports. We lost, due to lack of preparation at times. You can lose a race, lack of preparation. And dealing with these spirits on a spiritual level, you're not going to fully conquer this demon if you don't prepare spiritually. It says, now I prepared with all my might. He put stuff in order. He had gold set up. He had wood. He had silver. He had brass. He said, I got regular stones. Okay, I need glittering stones. Okay, I need diverse colors. This was major preparation. And it don't tell you how long David was preparing to build. Right? And you would have to calculate that from the age of 2 Kings 7, David's age, all the way up until Solomon sat on the throne. Right? That's how long David was preparing with all his might. It reads, moreover, because I have set my affection to the house of my God. And you're a house. We're all vessels. We're all temples. Right? We're all, as a nation, we're the house of the Most High, the body of Yahweh Shah. And he was prepared with all this might because that's where his heart was. He was into this. When you're really into something and you preparing, you're going to do things on the highest level. One more point. When you watch these, just using other sports analogies, the greatest coaches, man, when they start talking about sports and the game plan and the playbook, you could tell how passionate they are about it. You put them in the front of a whiteboard with X's and O's, right, and say run through some plays, they get excited, man. When you used to watch football, John Madden, he'll be up there scribbling, and this guy go that way, and they was excited about it because that's where their heart was. So you want to be like that in this truth. You want to be like that when you're attacking these spirits. What's your game plan? What's the X's and O's? Your affection should be towards your temple, towards your family, towards the nation. He said, I've set my affection to the house of my God. I have of my own proper good of gold and silver, which I have given to the house of my God over and above that I have prepared for the holy house. And I'm not going to read this whole chapter, but major preparation goes into dealing with these demons. If it's a pornography demon, what is the game plan? Right? Is it to, are you going to get counsel from a whole bunch of women you used to know in the world? Right? Are you going to block websites? Are you going to, do this? Are you going to do that? What's your game plan? How are you preparing to deal with these spirits? Let me get another quick precept. Let's go to Luke. Right? Let's go to Luke 14, right? Through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. Right? Luke, the classic. Luke 14, Salakia. Right? So you brothers, man, once you identify these spirits, you gotta put together a game plan. Right? Luke 14:28. For which of you intending to build a tower sitteth not down first and counteth the cost, whether he have sufficient to finish it? And that's, yes, this is building, but you're trying to build yourself up. But this also goes for breaking down. When people do demolition work, you got to count the cost. Do you have enough dynamite, right? Did you put it? People do demolition projects, and then the building damn near fall over to another building, or it explode, or people still trapped in the building, and you got to really count the cost. The dynamite got to be on the beams right, and the building got to be clear. You got to make sure you got enough. You got enough space. Is there houses nearby? You got to sign paperwork. So this goes to building and breaking down. And if you breaking down and dealing with evil spirits to destroy them, you also got to count the cost. Do I have enough firepower to destroy this demon? Am I fasting? Am I praying? Am I pulling, am I in the right precepts? Am I reading? Am I getting counsel from the right person? Right? Or you just scrolling through your phone, let me call the first number I stop at and get counsel. You got to count the cost. Less happily, after you have laid the foundation and is not able to finish it, all that behold it began to mock him, saying, this man began to build and was not able to finish. So preparation goes a long way, man. And brothers have to have a mind of laying down the groundwork and not being hasty, because you might miss something, right? You have to get counsel, find the precepts. You got to repent, right? You may have to fast, right? You got to throw those prayers up. You may have to isolate yourself. You may have to block a number, right? These are the things that you got to prepare to do before you go to war, right? And before you begin to either break down or build up. So it's one thing, to identify those spirits. It's another thing to count the cost and prepare your spirit for that war. Because I think one more point, the brother said it earlier, man. You might you might overcome, but that demon might come back, and it is going to come back. You got to count the cost. You got to count the cost. That spirit, pursuing in Matthew the 12th chapter, 43 on down, he's going to come back and see if my house is lit and furnished. Satan is going to come back. He departed from a season. Let me prepare my spirit. Right? But brothers got it.
Con. And like you were saying, John Madden, he was, and they threw the topsy-turvy, and the tight end was there, and he lateral to the running back, and then touchdown. He wrote all that down. But to think about it in the coach's aspect, when you're drawing up plays, you have to go back. You got to erase it. Like, no, this slant isn't going to be good because the safety will be right there waiting. Right. So it's all about going back and examining and knowing, like the brother said, what's good for you and good for your spirit, right? You don't want to be a fool who overcame a demon and now you're just oblivious to it, right? Well, I stopped smoking. I got that demon off of me. That demon can come back 10 times harder. And the state of that man is 7 times worse than it was, 100 times worse. Right, let's go to Sirach chapter 32 and start at verse number 18, I believe. And another one, when people buy plots of land, they hire contractors to come and build. Those contractors don't just bring one mold of building or one, what am I looking for, schematic or
Right,
blueprint
right,
for the house that they're trying to build. They bring several blueprints. And after you choose that proper blueprint, they go back and look at it again. Well, if we take away from this closet 5 feet, we can make the bathroom a little bit longer. You can have the toilet over here, right? It's all about seeing what's the right way of how your life should be. And that's what you have to do in this truth, right? The same way you dealt with a spirit that was plaguing and vexing you when you first came into the truth. Now that you're a learned man or woman, you don't deal with it the same way, right? You don't run to the bottle every time your boss yells at you at work, or every time you slip up and oh, I can't believe I accidentally ate some shellfish. Let me go get the bottle. Let me go open my laptop. Right? That's not what you do. You build and you go not in the way that's gonna cause you to slip and fall all over again. Right? Sirach chapter 32 and 18, I'm gonna read down. A man of counsel will be considerate, right? And that's what these scriptures are. This is a huge book of counseling from our forefathers to us today. Right? Some of this wisdom we would have never thought of. It only comes from the Most High. But a strange and proud man is not daunted with fear, even when himself he have done without counsel. So if you're strange and proud, right, you're gonna be doing whatever the hell you want because you have no fear. How about Shem Shai? You have no fear that you can be utterly consumed in something that you had no clue that was coming. Right? You think those men who be in brothels and harlot houses, right? Do you think they know that the raid is coming right when they're laying down with the woman? Absolutely not. They just proud, right? Yeah, I've done this 150 times. 151 ain't nothing going to change. Boom, they're in there. They get caught in the raid. Now their pictures in the newspaper, right? Verse number 19, right? And that's another spirit people battle, brothers battle, buying prostitutes, right? You haven't been able to pay your phone bill for 4 months. Your lights is off, but you got to get that fixed, right? You have to get that fixed. No, you don't have to get that fixed. You need to get your priorities in order. That goes back to Luke 14, like the brother brought out in 30. They gonna mock you. Like, yeah, you was in the truth. Why you can't do this? Because you was too busy getting infatuated with this prostitute or dealing with these harlots. Right? Verse number 19. Do nothing without advice. And when thou hast once done, repent not. And this is the point right here. Go not in a way wherein thou mayest fall, and stumble not among the stones. Right? Stop going in the way that you can fall. Right? Jake is simple. You know, we're sheep. Sheep are very simple animals, right? They follow the shepherd wheresoever they go. They graze in this meadow and they graze in this field on this hill. They live a very simple life. They don't have to worry about nothing, right? The shepherds are going to be looking out for the wolves. So, as us being sheep, we go and do things thinking we can overcome it, right? Like the brother said, I'm at my uncle's house and it's crack and heroin going around and I just got my arm out. Like I would never do that. Just waiting to get that what the elder called it that one time, a blast.
blasting off.
Yeah, getting blasting off. Right? You just waiting to blast off. You going in the way that you can fall. Why are you setting yourself up for failure? Why are you setting yourself up when you can't even look in the mirror? Right? That's a foolish thing to do. Is to set yourself up so you can fall and stumble among the stones. Right? And when you stumble, it's not a light fall. You hit every single stone. Right? You see these people when they slipping on the ice, they're trying to catch their balance. When you're stumbling on the rocks, you hitting every single rock. Meaning that inequity is just whooping your ass. You getting beat the hell up by your sins because you went in the way that you ought not to go. Right? That's Proverbs, the 4th chapter, I believe the 14th verse. It says, go not in the way of an evil man, That doesn't necessarily mean you have to be hand in hand with evil men. It's following the pathways that they set. Right? We was talking about this on our way to camp on Saturday. We was like, man, is it off to walk through another man's footprints? I don't know if you remember that, King.
Yeah, I remember
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
And I was thinking about, say it again.
The traveling through the snow, through the ice.
Right, traveling through the snow, con. And I was thinking about it, like that footprint was laid so we can go through the next time. So you can't follow in the way of a wicked man, right? You see the outcome of all these men, but you think that you can overcome it because you're an Israelite. Right? Just because you got on fringes means you can't fall victim to the same thing. No, you're still gonna have that same repercussion from doing the same action. Evil is gonna get evil, no matter what. Right, one more. Proverbs chapter 40 and verse number 1. Or not Proverbs, Psalms. Salakia. Psalms chapter 40 and verse number 1. Right, he reads, to the chief musician, a psalm of David, I waited patiently for the Lord, and he inclined unto me and heard my cry. And that's how we all came into this truth. We had to hit rock bottom. Right? We was dealing with some type of infirmity, whether it was health, you lost a loved one, you lost your job, you didn't have any money, your girlfriend left you, your husband or boyfriend left you, right? The Most High inclined to our cry. He brought me up also out of a horrible pit, out of the miry clay, and set my feet upon a rock and established my goings. So the Most High has brought us up from whatever circumstance that we were in, right? Miry clay is not something you want to get caught in, right? It's hard, right? It's not easy to break apart, a horrible pit. And the Lord pulled you up and set you on that rock. And he had put a new song in my mouth, even praise unto our God. Many shall see it and fear and shall trust in the Lord, right? So the Most High brought us out of this, and we're praising the Most High by our works, right? We're not taking the glory for our reformed image that we are, right? We're not the same men. We're not going to give out our government names that we were before, right? So when people see us, like, damn, I do see the difference in you. You do move differently. And we're praising the Most High. How much more in this truth you overcome that demon? The Most High took you from it, but you still want to put your foot in that miry clay. You still got your hand in it to see if it's just as strong to get out of it as it was before. But before you go, all right, can we pull up an image of miry clay, Bob Kishar? Not to be long-winded.
Look, they even put Psalms 40 right there.
See that?
Let me see.
Right. Look at that miry clay. That's not easy to get out of. Right? You stuck in it. You're trying to pull your leg out of it. You can't get out of that. It's still
Like quicksand.
It's quicksand. Right? Look at that. You stuck in it. The Most High pulled you out of it, but you want to see if it's still as hard to get out of it. Right? Can I still put my hand in it and pull it back? Right? Can I have my hand by this snake and make sure he doesn't bite me? Right? It's traits of miry clay. It says miry clay is a biblical metaphor for a sticky, muddy, and unstable stance or substance that represents desperate, inescapable, and perilous situations. Right? So you know how hard it is to overcome these demons? Right? It's people, man, you think Wiz Khalifa realized he has a demon on him? He been smoking since, I was in high school, and that's all he doing. Right? He's still smoking. Right? You think he realized he got a demon on him? But when you come into the truth and you pull yourself out that situation and you like, well, let me go see. I know I got out of it before. Let me see if I can get back in there and pull myself out again. Next time, the Lord may not incline into your cries and your prayers and let you sink deeper and deeper and deeper. But you got it, King.
Khan, that's right. That's right. Let's go to the mighty book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 10, in verse number 8. At Ecclesiastes, chapter 10, in verse number 8. Right, and it reads, "He that diggeth a pit shall fall into it." That's plain, man. Right, meaning what? You're in charge to a certain degree of your actions, and whatever you put yourself into, be it verbally, financially, mentally, whatever the case may be, that's on you, man. Because the Lord didn't overthrow you. The Lord gives you counsel. He gives you the scriptures. You got an opportunity to fast. You have plenty of opportunities in the land of the living to get yourself in the spirit. Brothers are fortunate enough to have a congregation, plethora of tens, if not hundreds of brothers and or sisters. So if you dig in a pit, meaning you dig in your own pathway, man. But that pathway is going down and it's not going straight. It's not leading to light, it's leading to death and darkness, right? In hell. It says, "And whosoever breaketh an hedge, a serpent shall bite him," man. Right? And the hedge of protection the Heavenly Father's put around you are the holy angels, the brotherhood, knowledge, wisdom. Right? All of these things protect man in his goings. The Lord gave you prudence, knowledge, discernment. Everybody doesn't have that, man. You have some people, they have no discernment at all, man. They say whatever, whenever. They don't move in the spirit. They're all out of order. And that hedge of protection they don't have around them, man. So they're liable to put themselves and God knows what and face the consequences. But the Most High helped you. Said a serpent will bite them. That serpent could be a philosophy. A serpent could be these nations. You could get thrown in jail, man. Right? Any way of being devoured and wrapped around by cunning craftiness, right? And these beasts of the field is going to lay upon you, man. Because you're the one that dig the pit. You got to watch digging yourself a pit, man. That happens a lot, that brothers don't witness, right? And don't see. Let's go to the mighty book of Luke, chapter 12 and verse 15. The mighty book of Luke, chapter 12, right? In verse number 15. You got to be real with yourself, man, right? And that's hard to do sometimes. That's why you have to be able to take rebuke. Because, brother, you're not going to be honest with yourself all the time, huh? I don't know one man that's just completely, just perfectly honest and he's never lied. The Lord said through the hand of David, "I said in haste, all men are liars," man. All men at some point of time have fallen short in their mental, their thoughts. They have made an excuse for the things that they have done, right? Not everybody's liable to own up to the decisions they made. Look at Adam and Eve, man. He said, "It was the woman that thou hast given me," man. Paraphrasing greatly. Not once did anybody really zone in on what actually happened. It was a trickle-down effect. Oh, it was the serpent. Oh, it was the woman. All hell started breaking loose, man. And everybody started losing track of what actually happened. And that's hard to do sometimes. Even the mightiest of men make excuses sometimes, man. They fall short. And it's not, because they're wicked. It's because the Heavenly Father set it up that way, man. Now, I may be slipping, this brother helped me, right? Or whatever the case may be. A brother may be slipping in a point. Hey, Ak, you're not like you used to be. I see things you don't see, that glow is slowly removing off of you. You can't see your glow, man. No brother sees his own glow. He looks up and he knows he's in the spirit as he's walking around, man. But your countenance, your spirit, all that bear witness to you, man. You're not moving the same. You're not talking the same. Your visage, your spirit a little different. It's a little off, man. I remember I was talking to this brother one time. I say, "Ak, man, it looked like you got a cloud over your head." Because I could see it. Not that he was a physical cloud, but through the spirit, man. I could see it. Something wasn't right about the brother, man. Right? And he said, "Everything is fine." I say, "Ak, I could see you got a cloud over your head, Ak." And I kind of pressed him. And then the brother said, "Well, this is what's going on." And then we kind of went, was going into it, man. So you may not be able to see things or may not be ready to talk about things. It could be a plethora of things going on that the Most High sets up for faithful men to be able to help and counsel you, man. That's why getting counsel is so important. It's not always when your damn house got broken into, man, or your wife just put a knife to your throat, or some treacherous evil act happened. Now you got to reach out, man, because you're drowning in the midst of the ocean into a tsunami, man, and you're a client. But sometimes it's good to say, "I've been thinking about this. What do you think about that?" The Most High may move brothers, through the spirit. It's Luke chapter 12, verse 15. And he said unto them, Take heed and beware of covetousness, for man's life consists of not in the abundance of things which he possess. Right, man. It don't matter how many cars, clothes, wives a brother has, money a brother has. That doesn't make the brother through the spirit, man. It says, and he spake a parable unto them, saying, the ground of a certain rich man brought forth plentiful, man. And again, that's a lot of brothers in this truth. Your first 1 to 2 to 3 years, you shooting up with so much speed, so much knowledge. And it happens to, at least from what I've noticed, 80% of brothers, man. I mean, 20%, you know, a lot of brothers got a slow start. They may not have that increase like other brothers, but you want fire, you zealous, you know, read this whole book, read that whole book, you're ready to go to camp. And then it starts to mellow out if you're not wise in that flame, in that oil, right? So, I mean, it really doesn't matter. And he spake a certain parable, saying the ground of a certain rich man brought forth plentiful, may bring forth a lot through the spirit. It says, and he spake, so like it, and though thought within himself, saying, what shall I do? Because I have no room where to bestow my fruits. So his mind is he has so much that he don't even know where to put it, man. It says, and he said, this will I do. I will pull down my barns and build greater, and there will I bestow my fruits and my goods. When he said, you know what? I'm going to put all that I have, I'm going to break all this down. So his mind was in building up these things, but his mind was in the spirit, it was in the world. All right, this parable is really going into you never know when the Heavenly Father could take your spirit, right, spiritually or physically, man. So you can't be too tapped into this world. Your mind can't be too occupied on what you increased in, or for that moment, what you don't have. A lot of brothers worry, I got to go back to school. I got to go back to school, and they building this up, they doing that. You want to be wise in your whereabouts and your wisdom and money making and management, but you don't want to let that overthrow you. So this man said, you know what? I'm going to build greater. So his mind was in building up in this world. And he says, and I will say to my soul, and that's off to say within your soul, thou hast much goods laid up for many years. Take thine ease, eat, drink, and be merry. So you never should have a mentality as a workman, like the Lord called us workmen, right? Master builders. We're the workmen. You know, understand? We're the men of knowledge, and we build up tabernacles, right? We build up temples. We build up nations. We build up households. All of it, we're husbandmen. We build up the vineyard. So we're a people of agriculture and building, man. So you can't say within yourself to take ease. That's not biblical, man. You know, that's not in the Bible. It just kick back, relax. This is not your rest. Like it's saying Micah 2:10. So you got to have that spirit to say, you know what? It's always more work to do. There's always more to examine. That's what the Lord said to the church of Sardis, right? They thought they was alive, but they was really dead. And that's scary. That's why I bring that precept out so much, because a lot of people are in a delusion. You know, brothers may have slipped in that once or twice, man. You get on autopilot mode. Any brother that drove for at least 10 to 12 to 20 miles straight, you may slip into a trance. Your mind may start thinking about your bills, thinking about your woman, you think about your kids. Next thing you know, you done passed 10 miles. That's how life goes sometimes, man. If you're not really focused, it'll be a week and 2 weeks and 3 weeks, and you kind of look back 3 weeks, there's no progression. Nothing has changed. Nothing is better. Nothing increased. And you get in that stagnant mentality and spirit that, okay, I just made it. I just got through, man. I made it through the skin of my teeth spirit, man. And you just holding on barely, holding on to that rope, holding on to that rope, and you stop giving all the might that you can to increase. He said, look, man, I'm about to take my ease, kick back, and chill. But God said unto him, thou fool, this night thy soul shall be required of thee. Meaning you never know when the Lord is going to take your spirit, man, or require something of you. Remember, Yahweh Shai came walking and desired fruit from the fig tree, right? Which was symbolic of man. The Most High may pass through Yahweh Shai by night. You understand, through the vineyard to see the pleasant fruits, like I say in the Song of Solomon, and you don't got nothing growing, man. Right? I got one more real fast, King. I believe that's Song of Solomon 7, if I'm not mistaken. Let me get this quick precept. I believe it's the second to the last verse. It says, let us get up early to the vineyards Let us see if the vine flourish. This happens all the time, man. Let's see if men are growing, right? Let's see if she repented. Let's see if that grudge is still on that brother, man. That demon is still on that brother. Let's see how it's increasing. It says, whether the tender grape appear. And grape is symbolic of man. You understand? Because we're likened it to the true vine, right? In Isaiah 5 and 7. We're the grapes. And the Lord is trying to see if we are appearing. It says, and the pomegranate bud forth. This brother reading, is he increasing? What's going on, man? You got certain brothers been in the truth 5 years, and they still haven't read the whole Bible. It says, there will I give thee my loves. O mandrakes give a smell. Is that literal? That a man has to physically go to the garden and a mandrake has to physically give a smell? No, these are men in the garden of the Lord. Meaning they're responsible of good works, spices flowing out. Like it says in the 4th chapter, works, knowledge, wisdom, parables, breakdowns, man, arms. Let's see if this man is doing works. And at our gates are all manner of pleasant fruits, right? These are the men, women, and children that have repented doing the works of God, new and old. So you bring forth new and you bring forth old, man. Right? This brother may be 80-something years old still doing the work, waxing old in it. Brother may just be, 5 years old, putting in a brick. And symbolic, like I said, of your old works that you've been doing 10 years, and you still doing those same works to this very day, which I have laid up for thee, O my beloved. Brothers, God.
Yeah, those are beautiful points brothers are making. I want to go to the book of Proverbs. I want to go to the 21st chapter. And they call that highway hypnosis. Well, that's another term for it. Highway hypnosis, like the brother was saying, man. You fall into a trance. This is Proverbs 21 and 5. It reads, the thoughts of the diligent tend only to plenteousness, but of everyone that is hasty, only to want. And I brought this out through the spirit because what we're going into as well. It starts with having a clean mind. It starts with having, you want to have thoughts of diligent people. It all starts in their mind. That's the point I'm trying to say. I'm trying to make. It's not like something just manifests. All of the things that we're going into it starts with in your mind. You have to actually have diligent thoughts or thoughts to want to increase, thoughts to want to read the Bible, like the brother said. Thoughts that you want to put down the laptop and put down the bottle when you fall into diverse sins, right? In these last days, we got to, get our minds right, huh? The thoughts of the diligent tend only to plenteousness. Because if you're thinking about it, you're going to end up speaking about it. If you're speaking about it, you're going to end up doing it. So let's say that is your plan. Look, I want to read the Bible. I bet the truth, like the brother said, 5 years. And I'm only in the book of, I'm in the book of, Ruth, right? Been in the truth 5 years. You only read from Genesis to Ruth, right? Some brothers, you read here and there, like you follow along, throughout different lessons or camp videos or street teachings or sit downs, but you haven't yet read it for yourself. Whatever you are looking to accomplish, whatever you're looking to overcome, the thoughts that you should have should be, how am I going to overcome this? What do I need to get this done? And that's going to tend to plenteousness. You're going to have an increase because the Most High see the Most High is in your mind, and He sees where your heart is at. Right? The Lord, we was going into this in camp where the Lord says in 1 Corinthians 9:27, lest I preach to others, I myself should be a castaway. Because a lot of brothers talk about it, but then they don't do it. And they become casted away. Some brothers are hearing this lesson, and they're hearers of the word, but they're not going to be doers of the word. This may be like a lovely song, like the Lord said in Ezekiel, I believe the 33rd chapter, 30 on down. As we go through these precepts, we're thinking about this, doing the lesson, and you should be thinking about this too. Where are your thoughts at? What are you trying to accomplish in this truth, man? Right? Let me get Jeremiah 6. Because this is what the Most High could do. This is kind of Jeremiah chapter 6 and verse number 19. I'm going to start at 17. Also, I set a watchman over you, saying, hearken to the sound of the trumpet, but they said we will not hearken. Right? Brother don't want to hear the correction. Brother, like the Raya was saying, the brother don't want to take heed to counsel. Therefore, hear, ye nations, and know, O congregation, what is among them. Hear, O earth, behold, I will bring evil upon this people, even the fruit of their thoughts, because they have not hearkened unto my words, nor to my law. It's like it, but rejected it. So the judgment and the evil that the Most High is going to bring, he didn't say I'm gonna bring wild beasts on you at this precept. He didn't say I'm gonna bring this great warrior to destroy you and bring the Assyrians. He said I'm going to do something that's a lot more dangerous. I'm gonna destroy the fruit of your thoughts, and the Lord will do that, man. Imagine having all these ideas and they come to nothing, right? You want to try to game plan, but it becomes nothing. You end up forgetting about it. The Most High take your focus away to something else. And anything that you thought you wanted to do, the Most High destroys all of the fruit that can come with your thoughts. That's a horrible judgment right there. That means everything you think about is never going to be successful. You'll always fail. Because these men didn't hearken unto the counsel. They didn't listen to the sound of the trumpet. They didn't have the thoughts like we read about in Proverbs, the 21st chapter, the thoughts of the diligent. So if your thoughts are how much money you can make, your thoughts are how many women you could pop and deal with, Salakia, but those are people's thoughts. How many lewd videos can you watch? How many bottles can you drink? How many TikToks can you watch per hour? How much scrolling can you get done? How much freaking off can you do? If those are your thoughts, when you try to want to do something righteous, the Most High is going to destroy those thoughts. So now is the time to make sure that your mind is tapped in. Right now is the time to get your mind right, man. So the Most High can deal with your thoughts. And let me get this too in Ecclesiastes, the 11th chapter. Right? Game planning, like brother's been saying, you got to think about these things. You can't tune into the lesson. And we talk about this, man. We even after the lesson say we got to go back and watch this, certain things, or go back and look at it, because while we're doing this in the spirit is also working with us. And that happens a lot of times. A lot of times you'll be teaching, and brothers could testify to this. You'll be teaching and you'll be speaking about things in a spirit that the Most High putting you to talk about. And then you're like, damn, this is something that I'm speaking about, but it's something also that I can go harder at, that I can go stronger at. So a lot of times we're edifying ourselves, but also brothers that are tuning in, you have to make sure that you are actually applying what's being brought out. Lest the Most High destroy the fruit of your thoughts. And I want to get Ecclesiastes 11 too. Ecclesiastes chapter 11 and 3. It reads, if the clouds be full of rain, they empty themselves upon the earth. And if the tree fall toward the south or toward the north, in the place where the tree falleth, there it shall be. So the point of the matter is, events in the earth, rather it's by nature like we're reading about, or rather it's by people, flesh and blood, lights in the heavens, all events are done by the Most High. He's the one that sends rain on the earth. Right? He's the one that causes the trees to fall. There's nothing that anybody can do. Some things just are kind of what they are. Right? It's all the work of the Most High. Right? The Most High is always working. Something's always happening. All things are full of labor. But how do you respond to it? How do you respond to it? Verse 4 says, he that observeth the wind shall not sow, and he that regardeth the clouds shall not reap. So all that we're going into, you got to believe. And you got to have confidence that whatever elephant in the room, whatever spirit you want to attack, you got to believe that you're going to do it. And you can't worry about the like we always say, the things that you can't control. Right? I'm not going to go in the forest because a tree might fall. Right? Or I'm not going to go into the outside because it might rain. A lot of brothers won't, go, what they go to the gym, work out, do whatever, because they don't believe that they're going to see the results. Some brothers don't do certain things in life because of they're scared of the outcome. instead of just doing it and having faith that the Most High is going to be with them. So again, if your goal is to read the Bible, don't say, well, this is such a big book, I'll never be able to get it done. I'll never be able to understand these words. What if all of us doing this lesson had that mentality? I'll never read the Bible. I mean, how many chapters? Was it 60, 66 books plus 15 or 14 in the Apocrypha? I don't know what to do. I'll just rest. And no, man. There's a term called there's a saying, when opportunity knocks, answer the door. But it goes something like that. Brother could correct me if I'm wrong. Taking chances, opportunities. These are the things that you got to do in the last days, man. I'll never be able to stop smoking weed. This is all I've done. And my father smoked weed and his dad smoked weed. And no, brother. It reads, as thou knowest, this Ecclesiastes 11:5, as thou knowest what is the way of the spirit, nor how the bones do grow in the womb of her that is with child, even so thou knowest not the works of God who maketh all. Yeah, nobody knows, man. Nobody knew that David was going to be king. That's the work of the Most High. You don't know how the Most High can have things grow. Some stuff takes time. Some people don't work out because they want immediate results. Bones don't grow overnight, man. It takes time. You have cartilage, and then you get the soft tissue, and then your bones grow, and it takes time. So you may put your hand to do something, to read the Bible, but you have to pace yourself. All right, verse 6. Here's the last one. The brothers got it. In the morning sow thy seed, and in the evening withhold not thine hand, for thou knowest not whether shall prosper, either this or that, or whether they shall be, it's like whether they both shall be alike good. So you have to always work, always labor, right? Whatever, give 1,000% effort. Have a work ethic. When you're dealing with these spirits, have a work ethic behind it. Have a regimen. Amos, you went into discipline. One of the foundations of discipline is consistency. People that are disciplined, they're consistent too about what they do. They have a mind where they have a mind where they do the same thing over and over and over again. They have a work ethic. They have a regimen. So whatever you want to accomplish, labor, because you never know how the Most High can have it grow. And the Most High might not have it grow, right? You don't know. But at least you put your hand to the plow. And that's what the Most High is looking for. He's looking for brothers that believe in him to overcome these spirits. And one more point, a lot of times Yahweh Shah was mad at that generation, which is this generation. He would always say, oh, yeah, of little faith. How long shall I suffer you? How long shall I be with you? Groaning, cussing them out. You still don't believe, How is it that you don't understand? I already broke it down to you. You don't remember the miracles I did? I fed them with the 5 loaves and 2 fishes, and I did this. How are you still not getting it? He was getting on them, man. They couldn't say anything. So we don't want to be that faithless and perverse generation like our fathers, man. We want to believe in the Most High, believe in Yahweh Shah, and what we put our hand to do, we have to do with all of our might, man. Whatever spirits you're trying to overcome, go hard at it. The brothers got
it. Quick precept on that. Matthew chapter 6 and verse number 21. Back to sports metaphors, the team that had the most chemistry was the team that was most deadly on the court, right? They had a strong bond, not just within the parameters of the field or the court, but outside as well. That's how you got to be in this truth. You have to have a strong bond to understand that you control the flesh, right? You control what your flesh does. Your flesh doesn't control you. You're not a bag of bones and meat just walking around, right? Your mind, like the brother was going into, it takes a long time for bones and cartilage and muscles and tendons all to form to create who you are today. It takes time for you to fashion yourself to be an Israelite, right? Not just in word, but in deed, right? This is Matthew 6:21. For where your treasure is, there will your heart be also. So if your heart is in folly, vanity, money, things that are temporal, that's where your heart's going to be, right? You're going to move in that manner. Right, I saw something on Twitter today. One of the rappers said, uh, "Money make black people happy. Only white people be upset with money and depressed with money. No, money doesn't make you happy. That happiness comes from the spirit of the Lord.
Right.
Right? You can have all the money in the world and still be damn worthless. Right? So where your treasure is, that's where your heart's gonna be. Your mind is gonna be fixated on that. Right? It's nothing in this world worth putting your treasure in outside of your family and the scriptures. Is nothing more than that. There's nothing in this world that's set forth to have you want to destroy yourself. Right? Let's go to Wisdom of Solomon 1. We can start at verse number 1. Right? Israelite Bible verses 101. Right? And discipline. Discipline is key. It's not easy to obtain discipline. I myself work on trying to get my discipline back together. Right? All of us do. Right? We all have slack days, slack weeks, months. You know, we be lying to you and putting ourselves up on the pedal like we're not dealing with the same battles that y'all are dealing with. Right? But that's where consistency comes. Right? Steph Curry didn't become a great shooter just because he picked the ball up one time. No, he did it on a consistent basis. Right? This is Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 1 and verse 1. Love righteousness, ye that be judges of the earth. Think of the Lord with a good heart, and in simplicity of heart seek him. So when you think of the Lord, you have to think of him in simplicity, not in guile, deceit. What else?
Envy, pride.
Envy, pride. However you want to seek the Lord outside of simplicity, it's going to be a stumbling block for you. Right? Quick precept, Sirach 31 and verse number 7. And I'm going to come back to this. Right? Sirach 31 goes into things that pretty much what your heart is looking for. You know, riches, foolishness, and things of that nature. Right? The desires that's going to cause you to stumble. Right? Sirach 31. I believe I want verse 7. Well, I'm going to start at 6. Start at 5. He that loveth gold shall not be justified, and he that followeth corruption shall not have enough. Right? And that's what the flesh is. The flesh, it follows corruption. Right? It can never have enough.
It's like it can't. It says shall have enough thereof.
Shall have enough thereof, Salakia. Shall have enough thereof, Salakia. He that loveth gold shall not be justified, and he that followeth corruption shall have enough thereof. Right? So if you following corruption, it's going to continue to latch and leach and just going to keep growing. Right? It's going to keep growing till you can't get rid of it. You know, it's like when you was younger and you played in the paint. Right? That blue and red paint, and you got home and your mom or your father was scrubbing you and the paint wouldn't come off. That's how it is when you follow the works of this flesh. Gold had been the ruin of many, and the destruction was present. This is the point right here, verse 7. It is a stumbling block unto them that sacrifice unto it, and every fool shall be taken therewith. So if you're following these stumbling blocks and you're sacrificing to it, you're losing sleep over it, you're waking up early, right? You're taking away from the things that are beneficial to yourself and your household, right? You're going to be taken therewith, right? Like the brother said, a lot of people's marriages fall over certain things, right? Gambling, right? Somebody gambled the whole house away because they knew that roulette ball was going to fall on black 32, right? Black 32. I knew I was going to get it. And it fall on the double zeros green. Right now you got somebody banging on your door, taking out your furniture. right? People drinking excessively, right? There's nothing wrong with drinking, you know, if long day at work, get you some wine, you know, you may indulge in a shot of tequila or cognac, whatever it be, but it's to an excess, right? The scriptures tell you about drinking to an excess, right? Causing wounds, right? Forgetting the things that you ought not to remember, right? You wake up in the middle of the night talking about, damn, I can't remember where I parked my car. And you waking up in a damn motel, right? So you'll be taken there with if you don't have your body in subjection, right? Can we go back to Second Esdras? I'm sorry, Wisdom of Solomon. Verse number 2. For he will be found of them that tempt him not. So the Lord is going to be found of them that don't tempt him. Right? We was talking about that miry clay. Right? You sitting there jumping like you're going to try to run across the road when you see a Mack truck coming. Right? The Lord's not going to be there with you because you tempting him. Is the Lord really going to save me? Right? If I continue to mess around with this heroin, am I still going to get addicted? And boom, you get hit by that Mack truck. And showeth himself unto such as do not distrust him. For forward thoughts separate from God, and his power, when it is tried, reproveth the unwise. So your forward thoughts are going to separate you from the Lord, those contentious thoughts. Right? Only a demon will have you be contention with the Most High, will be in contention with the Most High. Trying to combat scriptures like, well, does the Most High really know what he's talking about? Right? Is weed is just a herb that grows from the plant. Why would the Most High give us a plant and say we can't use it? Right? Is have you being contentious. And we all been there before. We all been there trying to justify our lust to be able to continue in it when the scriptures is straying us away. That's why it says, when it is tried, it reproveth the unwise. Right? It corrects us when we're going in the way that we ought not to go. Right? For into a malicious soul, wisdom shall not enter, nor dwell in the body that is subject to sin. Right? So if you're not truly in the spirit, you'll see your wisdom start to drip. Like Orion was saying, he told a brother he had a cloud over him. Right? That shine that you have in the truth, it fades away. Right? Your eyes become dull. You look dead. You know what I'm saying? You're just there. Right? Verse number 5, for the Holy Spirit of discipline will flee deceit. Right? The Lord called the Lord called discipline a Holy Spirit. Right? It's discipline to want to serve the Lord. It's discipline to put your wants and desires behind what your body or what your spirit is telling you to do. Right? And remove from thoughts that are without understanding and will not abide when unrighteousness come in. Right? So wisdom is like a woman who you've been chasing your whole life. And then when you finally get her, it's like a movie. When you finally get her, it's a match made in heaven. But when you start going contrary to the way that had her come into your life, she flees. She goes out of your life. And now you're sitting there with the I don't know what to do face. I don't know how to get her back. And you crying. And now that estate that you was in before is 10 times worse. Now you reaching out to brothers in the truth like, yeah, man, I'm trying to get back out there, man. Knowing that your heart's not in it. You're just trying to rekindle that flame that you once have, but discipline's not there anymore. Wisdom's not there anymore. She went to the next man to increase him because she saw that you were playing in the first place. Right, but you got it, King.
Yeah, and as you bringing it out, I'm thinking through the spirit, man. Wisdom is out of your league, man. That woman is out of your league, man. She out of everybody's league. So I mean, who would play or try to play with a woman that's out of your league, man? Normally, when people get a good woman, they hold her, you know, like the Lord said, paraphrasing greatly, forego not a wise woman. Right? You don't want to just fling her to the side, and it is what it is. And every woman by night cometh. Let's go to the mighty book, right, of Jeremiah, chapter 18 and 12. The mighty book of Jeremiah, chapter 18, in verse number 12. Right, and it reads, It says, and they said, there is no hope, man. That's what Israel say. You know what? I can't do it. And they make a thou, they twiddle their thumbs. Maybe tomorrow, maybe next week. I don't even think it's possible. You'll tell a brother, hey, XYZ, hey, get it together, hey, you could get a better job. I've been working here for years. You got them people that never want to get another job. And there's nothing wrong with working at Burger King or McDonald's or, any of these places, Lowe's. But if that's your game plan and that's your MO for 35 years and you have never been a supervisor, you're not increasing, you're staying stagnant, then that's not a situation you should want to stay in, man. A lot of people say, well, I like it here. I'm cool. Nah, I can't go to college, man. I can't go to trade school. I'm like, brother, go be a technician, man. Nah, I don't think I could do that. You need to take 5 months to do that. I gotta figure this out. You procrastinate, it's gonna be another 5 years to go by, man. You're gonna increase at your job $1 in 5 years. If you increase $1 at all, man. Other people are passing you by. Making something of themselves, man. I remember when I was young, in high school young, my mother, she had a friend, and she used to always compare her friends' children to me. Look at them, they going to college. Look at them. Well, what are you going to do? Right? And I'm like, I don't want to hear that. Right? Back in the day, I didn't want to hear that, man. But, you really look at them, they're in college. They studying to be doctors. They damn lawyers. They're this, that. Their life is moving. While certain people are saying, like I myself in the world, I don't know, man. I'll figure it out. I got time. You don't have time. You can't have a mentality, right, that you don't have no hope and there's nothing that could be done. The Lord said, all things are possible through him, man. And nothing should be impossible. So you can't have that defeated mentality. It says, and they said there is no hope, but we will walk after our own devices. Man, certain people, it's too hard to do certain things, man, right? And brothers really ask the questions, and it's okay if it's sincerity and you don't know. But certain brothers are asked, brothers, hey, how do you remember all these precepts? How do you have all of this knowledge? And how do you, as if it's impossible to obtain, man? As if it's so out of the ordinary. Hey, how do brothers hold calls so much? And how do brothers, be consistent every Monday? How do brothers do this? Well, first and foremost, the mercy of the Most High. But two, brothers apt themselves and push themselves in uncomfortable situations sometimes, man. I don't think when brothers are on live, a brother didn't get a flat tire, man. A brother went threatening to be fired at work that same day. Brother had a kid, right? His wife just gave birth, right? He still hop on the lot. Sacrifice has to be taken, man. Can't have him and say there's no hope. There's never going to be a blanket, right, with a nice, comfortable theme song and a big pillow for you to lay back on all the time, huh? You're going to be uncomfortable. You're going to be stressed. These things come with change, right? I've never seen a caterpillar just a morph, man. He has to go in that cocoon, right? And it takes time, and, he develops. He changed colors. He changed size. All of that spiritual, man. You look at them bears, how they hibernate, right? They go in them caves and different things like that, these creatures and beasts of the field. You got to look at man. Man will disappear and pop out nowhere. Now he lost 30 pounds. Where you been at, man? You look good. How many times have that been said around America? Where you been at? Oh, you looking good, right? Because they have isolated themselves to get themselves in a better situation. You can't have that mentality. You can never change, and there's no hope. It says, we will everyone do the imagination of his evil heart, man. Look, we're just going to do what we're going to do, man. We're going to do what we've been doing. The life we've been living. The things we've been doing that worked this far. Oh, Jake, man, I've been eating pork. It ain't killed me this long. You don't want to have that spirit, man. It's not a righteous spirit to move in. Let's go to the mighty book of Matthew, chapter 7, right? In verse number 24. Did a brother pull that? Okay, Con. Let's go to the mighty book of Matthew, chapter 7, verse 24. It says, therefore, whosoever heareth these sayings of mine and doeth them, I will liken him unto a wise man, which build his house upon a rock. The rock is Yahushua. You building, again, is you, your tabernacle. And the things that you're Building up are your works, your alms, your charity, your reading, your sacrifice, your increasing of your household. These things are being built upon the rock. It says, and the rain descended. The rain is tribulations, temptations, man. Things that knock you off your pivot. And the floods came, ungodly men, doctrines, adversity, and the winds blew and beat upon that house, man. And it fell not, for it was founded upon a rock. Notice it said it beat upon that house, man. You know, can you pull up real quick, King? Vehement rain or just rain beating on the house. Man, I mean, you look at certain windstorms, man. They knock glass and kick open doors, man. That rain could cave into your roof. It's not just the rain where, two Edomites is running and laughing and holding hands in the street, man, as they twirl in circles. Certain rain beats down foundations. It overtakes, the leveling, right, that you have, and it shifts your house, right? Certain people's house, they have a drain in their basement. And that drain, if it don't go down fast enough, it'll rise up and it'll start creeping into your house. It'll overtake your house. Look at this. You got trees falling on it, breaking down the roof. So don't just say the rain came and the winds blew, right? Like it was just chilly outside, man. This is what the Lord talking about when the rain comes. Now, all houses are going to fall unless it's on the rock. That's how serious this rain is, man. Right? That's how serious this wind is. And when it could blow and it starts to twirl into a tornado, man. Next thing you know, it ain't got all your substance, your life, your cattle, your children, your house, and it took it all up with it, man. Look at this. Should I? I'm gonna go back to it. So that's the rain the Lord was talking about. It says, verse 26. It says, and everyone that heareth these sayings of mine and doeth them not shall be likened unto a foolish man, which built his house upon the sand. Right? And the sand is what's comfortable to you, man. Right? You built your house the way you wanted to build it. Wasn't according to the instructions. How many people have built something and they come with this big, long manual, man? And Jake, they kind of look at it for 3 seconds. And then you end up doing what? You end up putting a screw somewhere it don't need to be. Now you got to take that screw back out. Everybody did it.
Yeah.
It's all lopsided, trying to force it to make it work. You're forcing it, you're looking at it, and then you forced to go back to that manual, man. Now you have to go back to that manual. Now you got to disassemble what you just built. Takes time, strength, energy, and kind of demasculates you because you feel defeated. Yeah. Now you got to go back and read it, and all hell start breaking loose, man. When you build, it has to be upon that, right? It has to be solid, in order. The measurements have to be tight. It says, and the rain descended, and the floods came, and the winds blew and beat upon that house, and it fell, and great was the fall of it. Why great was the fall of it? Because you could have been building for 5 years, 10 years, 20 years. Shoot, even 8 months. 8 months is a long time to have discipline, man. Like brothers are saying, you can't even go to the gym for 8 months straight, man. You can't even stick to a routine and what they call a meal prepping for 8 months, man. Can't even meal prep for 8 months. So it's commendable, and all praise to the Most High that you even had a diligence to wake up every day to have the same mentality in this truth, man. So great is the fall. All your works, all of this time, all that you built into it, all goes down the drain. Like Amos said, off of one bet, man. Right? It was a millionaire. I don't know his name. It was a nation. I don't know if he's an Edomite or a Moabite. He was rich, and he lost all his money on a slot machine. Right? Every day, $20,000 pulling it, man. $30,000 pulling it. He had a demon on him, and he punted away all his earnings. And great was the fall of that man. He had millions of dollars, and it all cast down to nothing. It says, and it came to pass when Yahushua had ended these sayings, the people were astonished at his doctrine, for he taught them as one having authority and not as the scribes. One scribes. Brothers got it.
Yeah, that's right, man. And Like you said, that procrastination, that's a demon, man. That's a demon. You know, that distraction is a demon, right? Distraction that's a heavy demon. It's very subtle. You on your phone, and next thing you know, damn, 30 minutes go by. You spent 30 minutes getting distracted. You were supposed to read, you know, when you, I don't know, at 8 p.m. Next thing you know, something, hey, this phone is made to do all types of things, man. It could be for good and evil, right? Next thing you know, it's got all these sounds and alerts, and your algorithm is studying you and putting you into a trance, and it's to keep you tapped in. These, you know, a lot of this stuff on social media, man, it's not a sin to be on social media, but and that stuff is programmed to essentially study your spirit, listen to you. They got this thing now. I was going into it on the cold cut. Apple acquired this Israeli like spyware where your phone is just looking at micro movements of your face. Let me see if I can get this. Yep. Apple buys Israeli startup for facial recognition. Right? So you sitting here on your phone, you smirk, and your phone kind of study that and kind of download information about you and do all types of madness, man. Right? You sit there, you look this way, your phone trying to figure out why you look that way. So all you brothers that got iPhones, oh, I got the new iPhone. All right, well, brother Esau got he got your same phone. And we've kind of been through that, but you know, they putting it out on the forefront. Apple acquires secretive Israeli facial surveillance firm and undisclosed deal. So all you brothers, man, you watching and you know, you looking and you smirk, or you get sad, or you get excited, and they studying that. Oh, he really liked this reel. Let's put 1,000 more reels. Well, he really looked at this woman with no clothes on, kind of smirked, but we'll give him 5 reels. Or he laughed, we'll give him 5,000 reels. Right? And they kind of, you know, they getting into you. So the point of the matter is, phones could be a great distraction. TV could be a great distraction. You don't want to be a brother. You're trying to focus on tackling a demon, but you got 50,000 hobbies that's getting in the way. Right? You like to make Q-tips. You know, you like to make shoes. You collect loose bubble gum and make molds out of it. You collecting coins and dice, and you know, you got a 1,600-piece jigsaw puzzle that you just got to do when you get home, and you know, you're licking your finger, sticking the piece on there. You like to knit, or you know, make a glass bottle. You got brothers that still make ships inside of a bottle, man. You know, you go downstairs, you put your monocle on with all of the layers on it as you put the final mast on a ship. You got men, grown men, that use their garage for the big train set, like a 5-year-old. Right? They move the car out, they take out all of the brooms and the rakes and the leaf blower, and they built the massive Hot Wheels set. I actually saw that on social media. I was showing my son like the cars, and he into that thing. But you know, hey, this guy turned his whole garage, a grown man, to the he has the world's largest indoor Hot Wheels set, racing the cars. So the point I'm making is, man, people don't utilize their time correctly. Let me get this in Sirach 27. Right? Utilize your time, man. Don't have 1,000 hobbies, and right, and have some time management. This is Sirach chapter 27 and verse number 12. If thou be among the undiscreet, observe the time, but be continually among men of understanding. And the undiscreet can be people, it can be devices, it can be events, right? It can be sports. Some brothers binge watch, you know, a whole football game is what, 3 hours, 3.5 hours? A basketball game with commercials, I don't know how long, maybe was that 2 hours? I don't know. Was it 15 minutes? It's probably like the same damn thing.
About an hour 45, 3 hours.
You said what?
Basketball probably about an hour 45. Football like 3 hours.
Yeah, hey, that can go by like that, man. You know, because in the commercials, you might be watching your phone, eating, waxing fat, kicking 3 hours. That's a hell of a lot of time. Now, it's not a sin to watch a football game. right? But if you back to back your whole day and you're not getting no reading there, you're not in the spirit, you haven't prayed, haven't thought about the Most High, you have to label what is the undiscreet in your life where you now need to observe the time. Some brothers work too much. You got your daily bread, you got what you need, but you putting too much hours in. There's a brother that's working, that brothers know he's working 70 hours a week, damn near 65 hours a week. You can't get nothing done working 65 hours a week. The Lord said, wisdom cometh by opportunity of leisure, in Sirach 38 and 24. And he that hath little business shall become wise. Sometimes you got to cut out excess business in your life, right? And you have to observe the time. Let me get First Ezra. Let me get one more. So, brothers, you got to examine your time too, because you need time to build, right? You need time to do this thing. Like I said, if you like to, I don't know, collect super soakers and build Lego sets all day. As soon as you get in from work, you put on your Lego hat and your Lego apron and you get to building, your mind not right. And one more thing. A lot of brothers, man, you wait till you on your in your bed with your cracking your toes. It's 11 p.m. You got to get up at 6. And you think you about to read, I'm about to read 8 chapters. No, you're not, brother. You about to pass out and go to sleep. Stop playing with yourself. Because you wanted to allocate your time elsewhere, and now you want to put the Most High on the back burner. I'm always falling asleep. Because, brother, you're not utilizing your time right. You spend your hour, your break, looking at the reading the damn funnies, man, the newspaper. Or on your phone. And, bro, hey, go to bed on time sometimes, man. What are you staying up to 2 a.m. for? On your phone, freaking off. That's why you can't get nothing done. Okay, you want to get up at 5 a.m. to go for a jog, but you up to 12, freaking off. This is First Ezra, chapter 6, and verse number, I'm going to read 9. Building an house unto the Lord, great and new, of hewn and costly stones, and the timber already laid upon the walls. This was the report they saw how our fathers were building. It was great. It was new. It was precious stones. It was this thing was happening. Our fathers was putting in work. Here's the point I want. And those works are done with great speed, and the work goeth on prosperously in their hands, and with all glory and diligence is it made. So they put in time. They did this with great speed. It's called being efficient. Efficiency. They study that in plantations. There's a thing called utilization, right? Utilization is essentially how many hours are you working throughout the day or through the week, and how much labor are you doing within those hours. If you're working 8 hours, but you're only working 4 hours of the day, you have 50% utilization. And they have to figure out what's happening in those other 4 hours. Like Araya said, are you doing what they call rework? Are you spending 4 hours fixing the problem that shouldn't even be there? Are you spending the other 4 hours talking? Are you late 4 hours? Why aren't you utilizing the hours that were given to you to be productive? Right? So you have to look at your really your utilization, huh? One more point. If you work, if you at home, right? Let's say you work, 9 to 5, right? You work 9 to 5. Let's say you get home at 5:30. From 5:30 to like 11:30, are you utilizing those hours righteously? You're going to need your downtime. You might have your downtime, but your downtime can't be 5 hours because you only got 6.5 hours. So you have to schedule out and come up with a time and a routine to utilize these hours efficiently. So that's your utilization. And efficiency is essentially how productive and skilled are you in those hours. So if you're supposed to make 10 boxes, are you making 10 of them? Or are you only making 4 of them in those hours? So that's our fathers. They were working efficiently. They was moving with great speed, getting things done, man. There's so much you can get done in 6 hours. So much you chapters, studying, reading. You can get a lot done in 30 minutes, an hour, 2 hours. You can do, 100 push-ups, work out, and then you can read, 4 chapters. So I'm gonna read this again. And those works are done with great speed, and the work goeth on prosperously in their hands, and with all glory and diligence is it made. Let me get one more real quick. I just thought about through the Spirit. I believe that's Nehemiah. Is that Nehemiah, the 4th chapter, if I'm not mistaken? Right? Let's see if this is what I want. Okay, Con, this is Nehemiah chapter 4 and verse 21. So we labored in the work, and half of them held the spears from the rising of the morning till the stars appeared. So what is that? Let's just say 6 a.m. Stars come out, let's say 9 p.m. Right? That's 15 hours. Right? 6 a.m. to 9 p.m. is 15 hours. 15 hours, they were holding the spears. They were efficient, and they utilized their time for the nation of Israel. And they labored. They had a mind to work. You got people at work, they ducking off, they hiding. You find them in the break room, and the supervisor got to come in there. Well, what are you doing? Oh, I thought that. Oh, no, you're not utilizing your time. Right? Our fathers were efficient because they were moving fast with the hours that they was doing, man. It reads, likewise, at the same time said I unto the people, let everyone with his servant lodge within Jerusalem, that in the night they may be a guard to us and labor on the day. So they was working shifts. So neither I nor my brethren, nor my servants, nor the men of the guard which followed me, none of us put off our clothes, saving that every one put them off for washing. So they was on a whole nother level. If brothers went back to work with Nehemiah and Ezra and our fathers, you'll get fired. They'll probably beat you down. You have to get on a level with their work ethic. All night, all day. That was he was directing this. Hey, this got to get done. This got to get done. And they was building. So the point of the matter is, utilize your time wisely. Stop wasting time and be efficient. But brothers got it.
Shit, you got it, Ryan.
Con. Yeah, I mean, like brothers are bringing out through the lesson, man. Most High willing, man, brothers are really, diving into and keeping it, man. This isn't something brothers are bringing out. Brothers have lived through these things, man. Seen these things. I've been through these things. So we're not saying something. The greatest teachers, in my opinion, is those that have been through the things that they're teaching, man. I mean, what greater way to relate to the brothers and sisters, really going through the situations and problems. Like Yahushua, he's the master, man. He's the great teacher. And the things that he have taught, he's lived, man. He's been poor, right? He's been mocked at, right? He's been jumped, man. Spit on. I mean, all these things have happened to the Lord, man. He was out there teaching in the public. He was upbraiding the cities. He was getting on people, man. Right? Shaking the hand. He was prophesied. He was doing all of these works, and it's relatable, right? You want to be able to relate to these things that brothers are bringing out, through the Spirit, man. Because, I mean, again, if not, it's going to go in one ear and out the other. I got one quick precept. The book of James, chapter 1 and verse 22. And them brothers got it. This last quick precept is James chapter 1 and verse 22. It says, be ye doers of the word and not hearers only, deceiving your own selves. Right? That's exactly what Christians do. Christians, as far as hypocrites in the Christian church, right? They'll literally, hear the word, and the word will be good to them. Repentance sound good to them. Love your neighbor sound good to them, right? Be a better man, be a better father, be a better wife. Whatever watered down message they have, in the church, it'll sound good to them, but they never apply it, man. They never apply it, man. Right? I seen somebody in my family years ago reading the book of Leviticus. Man, I said, what the hell? They're not even in the truth. They had no idea what's going on. just reading the book of Leviticus. And they was like on chapter 15, 16, man, 17. They just read and have no idea what's going on, man. And they ain't gonna apply none of that, you know. And when I saw that, it made me examine myself, man. It's like, yeah, I read it straight. But it's like you could do so much, I guess, hearing, but if you're not applying it and really taking it and becoming it, I mean, what worth is it? It says, and here is only deceiving your own selves. So brothers could be deceived, man. And that's also a spirit. It's called a spirit of delusion, man. You don't want that spirit to rest on you. First things first is analyzing the problem. Once you get that, I mean, the rest should be easy to be able to tackle, man. But first, you gotta be real with yourself. The brothers got it.
The brothers want to bring out closing precepts.
I'll get in there. Let's go to. I'm gonna switch it up.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm gonna switch it up on this one. Let's go to 2nd Esdras chapter 8 and start at verse number 55. Right. So, most high willing, like the brother Ryan was saying, you know, this lesson doesn't go in vain, and that you don't take the time, because like the brother said earlier, you know, I'm gonna go through and I'm gonna watch this over again while I'm at work, you know, examine how I can get things in order more efficiently, not just for myself, but for my household. Right. And that's the important thing about being a man in his truth. It's never selfish when it comes to getting things in order. It acquires everybody to benefit from it. Right. And with you being the head of the household, your wife will follow suit, your children will follow suit. Things will start to move more smoothly because that foundation, which is Yahweh Shem Yahushai, will have you prosper in all your doings. Right? It won't just be monetarily, right? It'll be spiritually, physically, right? Understanding, right? All these things will, you know, lift you up. And like we went into in Psalms 40, you'll sing praise to the Most High, and everybody will see it, and they'll praise the Most High because they'll follow suit, right? That's how being in this truth works, right? We can speak for ourselves because we saw men on the highways and byways. We got to understand it. We said we need to do it. It'll be the same way when you start to structure and balance your life the way it should be. And yeah, it takes time. Yeah, it's going to be difficult, but it's well worth doing. Right? This is 2nd Esdras chapter 7 and verse 55. And therefore ask thou no more questions concerning the multitude that shall perish. Right? So like concerning the multitude that shall perish, for when they had taken liberty, they despised the Most High, thought scorn of his laws, and forsook his ways. Right? So while we had the liberty to be perfect in the sight of the Lord, to move more adequately as we should, you know, as the scriptures being the foundation, you know, we scorned at the laws. We laughed, we mocked, and we forsook the ways. Moreover, they have trodden down his righteous. They and said in their heart that there is no God, yea, and that knowing they must die. So your actions are going to say there is no Most High because you're going contrary to the way that you should go, right? You're going contrary to the way and the path that was set forward. And for this, you must die. So don't be that foolish. Don't be that unwise. Be that man like the brothers going into who set his house upon the rock. Though adversity came, you withstood it, and nothing shook your foundation. Nothing caused you to go to the left or to the right like a wave in the sea, but you stayed on that straight and narrow path. With that, I yield.
Yeah, I get the classic Revelation. Brothers don't mind. Chapter 3 and verse number 2. Right, it reads, it says, be watchful and strengthen the things which remain that are ready to die. For I have not found thy works perfect before God. Remember therefore how thou hast received and heard, and hold fast and repent. If therefore thou shalt not watch, I will come in thee as a thief. Thou shalt not know what hour I will come upon thee. So most high willing, man, brothers are watching, being diligent, hitting that refresh button, standing in the prophecy, watching what these devils is doing throughout the earth, man, watching all of the US dollar going down, the invasion of the lands. They're diligent and watching and keeping watch, and it keeps you on the edge of your seat, man. It gives you something to look for, man. The Lord said, deferred hope maketh the heart sick. So when you don't got nothing to hope in, and you don't see nothing, it make the heart sick. So the more you see, the more it's going to enlighten the heart and the eyes. But brothers got it.
Khan is right. And I'm going to just get the classic in Revelation chapter 22 and verse 12. It reads, and behold, I come quickly, and my reward is with me to give every man according as his work shall be. Yahushua is coming like a thief in the night, man. Any given second, things can go from 0 to 7,000, like that, man. Right? It could be a false flag. It could be, an alert on your phone. It could be a bomb got dropped. It could be anything, right? The Most High can move however he wants to move. And we want to always understand that there's a reward coming for what we do, right? All of the labor, all of the work, ethics that brothers have been putting together. You brothers have denied the flesh. You have denied sin, right? You stand in the spirit. You fighting temptation. There's a reward coming, right? According to the work that you do. So with that, we're going to close up, giving, of course, our honor and glory to Yahweh Bashma, Mashiach, Malak Shad, Brother Naquan,
Brother Amos,
Shalom, brother Right.
Kwame Yashad. Shalom.